Oh, it is on. 1, 2. There it is. It's on. What's up, everybody? Come on in. Let's get started. I am sorry I'm late tonight. There's just no sleep for me. It's just not in the cards for me to get sleep. Just got done with a podcast, an energetic and a lively, get your blood going kind of podcast that I just did with Renegade Culture, with my brother Kamal Franklin, and it was intense. So when it comes out, I want you to listen to it because it was definitely got the blood working. I'm ready to go box. What's going on, everybody? See everyone coming in the room. Hello to you. Hi, Debbie. Good evening, Angry Panda. Gail, I'm doing good. How are you, Gail? Finally, Jennifer says she finally got a notification. YouTube is persnickety like that. It's a lot. George is in the house. All right. Good to see you. Travis Dunn over on YouTube. Good evening to everyone. Debbie, good to see you over there on Facebook. Let's see who else has. Ellie, DFW, Dallas Fort Worth. All right, I know the DFW. Kirk Franklin is from there. What's going on, George? It's been a wild day, ain't it, man? CA70s, it's been so busy. I honestly just couldn't even get around to the podcast today. It's been that busy. I literally just came off of a hang on, I think I need to do a mic delay on this. Give me a couple seconds here. I want to make sure you guys can see my voice hitting at the same time. Where is it? Right there. And then audio, we're going to do a mic delay by 8 milliseconds right there. I'm going to do 8, not 9, 8. Whew. Birmingham, Alabama is in the house. Birmingham. Good to see you, Birmingham. Leon. I was born in Selma. Thank you, Tammy. My family is doing well. My kids heard me doing a whole lot of cussing because of this podcast I was on. But it was good. I'm glad I did it. Will you explain something? Sure. What do you want me to explain? What's going on, Chris? I see you. I'm just scrolling through looking for the chipmunk. Chipmunks up. We had a good time. This morning. Clickbaity political thirst trap. You guys should always tune in to that. It is definitely. Rob from New Jersey is in the house. Dallas is in the house. Great. Oh man, you guys are feeling. There it is, Caleb. I wasn't looking for it. All right, let's get started. We're going to do the super chats. Like we said, we let you gather all the super chats. And this basically the second half of the show is me reading your super chats and answering your questions from the super chats or from Twitch. You can support the show on twitch.tv/Benjamin P. Dixon. Yeah, man. Listen, we're late already. So let me not even start with the pretense of caring about politics for the sake of politics. I'm wondering what that noise is, sweetie. Is that you? What you got? What you looking for? Well, get out of here then. Yo, pajamas. Go get in the bed. How many people still undecided? Video of Trump denouncing white supremacy. Dare you to watch? Nah. I look for a trap and burn, right? That's the Dragon Squad and the Trap Squad. Louisiana's in the house. I mean, we could do that. We're going to be doing that all day. All right. We could be doing that all day. Shout out to Joy. Hang on. Let me bring Joy here. One thing you got to know, the good thing, the pros and the cons about being a black man is that you better be ready at all times to dish out or to receive the roasting of your lifetime. So that's just it's not for the faint of heart. I want to talk about the concerted effort that's being made right now to take, or at a minimum, neutralize the black vote. And I don't know how much I would want to talk about it, but I got to talk about it because it's insidious in this regard. Donald Trump, Lil Wayne, the rapper, Lil Wayne. Let me make sure I'm broadcasting on all channels though, because last night we had a problem with Twitch, and I don't think I see anybody. Oh, there's some Twitch. Okay, all right, there's Twitch. Good. I want to make sure Twitch was in the house. Why can't we let people vote on their opinion? It's nobody's business. Why can't we let people vote on their opinion? It's nobody's business. I'm curious about what you mean by this, because the thing is that what's happening right now, people are being there is, without question, a massive psyop that's going on in the black community for the purposes of neutralizing the black vote based on the failings of the Democratic Party to benefit a party that seeks to do even more damage to the black community that we have ever seen and can even imagine. That's the psyop that's happening right now. And it's wrapped in a language, very specifically. You got a lot of people out here who are talking with the language of black radicalism as if they are on the apex of being the wokest black person in the conversation, like they're supreme king ding-a-ling woke. That's how superbly woke they think that they are. Like they are the granddaddy of wokeness, of black radicalism. But yet and still, the result of what they are fighting for and the result of who they are in league with is white supremacy. I just got off a podcast. I don't want to use this brother because he's not here to defend himself, but I just want to reference him. And then I want to use other people who are doing the same thing that you may know of. Right. So I'm not trying to attack this brother because I don't remember his name to bring up his name. But I just got off a podcast with this brother who was talking with all this language of black radicalism about how neither party loves the black community. Neither party is doing anything good for black people. But I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. Huh? You know, Joe Biden has done for black people. Joe Biden been there for 47 years. And Republicans don't love black people. Democrats don't love black people. But I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. I'm sorry. How does that work? How does that work? How does that work? How can you see that neither party has been necessarily beneficial to the black community, but the resulting conclusion from your observation is that you're going to go and vote for the party who's literally out here trying to get us killed in these streets? Because let's be clear. As it stands in the year of your Lord, our Lord 2020, there is a party that is flying the flag of the Confederacy and the party that's flying the flag of police brutality. There is the party of the president who told police officers to rough us up, who used the police state to crack down on us as we protested against the death and the murder of George Floyd. I mean, that's the party that if you are so immensely woke that you can't bring yourself to possibly support the Democrats because the Democrats have been derelict in their responsibility to actually provide a benefit for the black community. If that's your analysis, how, Sway, are you then turning around and voting for the people who are undergirding and supporting Nazis? Oh, you don't believe that they're actually Nazis when they have fucking SWAT stickers on their arms. Oh, you don't believe it's actually white supremacy when they're actively trying to get rid of critical race theory because they don't want anyone to have any kind of analysis of America that can expose the crimes of America and the sins of America throughout American history. But you don't believe it's white supremacy. There is a strand of blackness that is being weaponized, and white folks, I love you. I love all of y'all. And you know, we are inclusive in this show. I don't care where you from, black, white, what race, what brown, yellow. It don't matter. It don't matter what you believe in. Don't matter what you don't believe in. Atheist, Christian, Buddhist, Satan. I don't care. But this conversation is for black folks. Okay, right? I don't need you running around here repeating nothing I say as an expert on blackness. All right. So just listen, and observe and let me talk to my family. There is a strain. I got to say it again. Please, white folks, do not go on Twitter repeating what I'm saying because it's going to get you got, okay? It's going to mess you up. I'm about to speak some truth. I'm going to speak truth that you're going to want to repeat, but it's not in your best interest, nor it is your place to repeat it, all right? Leave it to the black folks in the community to handle this. There is a particular strain of black wokeness that is nothing more than the black face of white supremacy. It sounds like it's revolutionary. It sounds like it's radical. It sounds like it's down to fight the power. It sounds like it's woke. But at the end of the day, it mirrors and supports white supremacy. And if I were to just call out some names, one of the first people I have to call out would be Tariq Nasheed. Because it sounds like it's radical, but the sum total of the result is capitulation of white supremacy. It sounds good because he get to call other people coons. But then when the rubber meets the road, they all are lining up, stepping and fetching, shucking and jiving on behalf of the white supremacist in chief. And whether or not you believe he's a white supremacist, it is here or there. I'm not going to say it's neither here nor there, because that to me suggests that you are willing to ignore a level of racism for your own personal benefit at the expense of the black community. But even if you go down that road and you're going to ignore the racism of white supremacy, 1 in 1,000 black people have died of COVID-19. 1 in 1,000 black people have died, not have gotten sick. When I first heard that stat, I said, you mean they must have got infected? 1 in 1,000 black people must have got infected. I mean, hell, we got 1,325 people in the room tonight. You mean to tell me that 1 in 1,000 have died, of black people have died of COVID-19? And it is the direct result of the sociopathy and the megalomania of this white supremacist in chief, who doesn't care because it doesn't affect him personally, but he doubly doesn't care because it's hurting black and brown people more than it's hurting anybody else, disproportionately so. So even if you have the unmitigated gall to erase the pure appeal to white supremacy that is Donald Trump, even if you've got the temerity to pull off that stunt, you're still going to actively support the man whose policies are intentionally killing your mama and them, your auntie and them, your cousin and them. I've done my level best to not criticize one person in particular, because he was particularly open to me when I very first started. The very first person who ever gave me love in this space was Boyce Watkins. And I always have a level of respect and love for him because of that. But Boyce is on some bullshit right now. He is on that same Tariq Nasheed bullshit that is going to absolve Donald Trump. Everybody's like, well, here's Joe Biden has been here for 47 years. Donald Trump's only got here for 4 years, and you already trying to kick him out and give it to somebody who ain't done nothing for us for the last 47 years. Donald Trump has overseen 227,000 Americans dying from COVID-19. You can ignore the racism if you want to. You could ignore the white supremacy and the Nazism if you want to. You could ignore the fact that they are getting ready to eviscerate the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act, Roe versus Wade. You super woke because you don't believe a woman should have a right to choose. Because part of this particular strand of black radicalism perfectly intersects with patriarchy. Okay? Let's just call it what it is, right? Because they don't believe a woman should have a right to choose, because you're killing the black king. You're killing the black seed, my sister. Step and fetch it ass niggas. Listen, I need my white people in the audience and my non-black people to not repeat nothing I say. If you repeat it, I will act like I ain't never seen you. But matter of fact, I'm going to dog pile you with everybody else. All right. So you hear me say a whole lot of stuff in here. This is an inside conversation. This is family. You are family, but you are extended family. I'm talking to my kinfolk here. I don't need you to get in trouble. All right. Just like, and I'm being funny, but I'm being dead ass serious. Just like if there was a conversation in the LGBTQ community where they had to fight it out amongst themselves, it is not my place to get in that conversation because I'm not a part of that community, right? If there's an argument, you get it amongst women, right? Fighting out their principles, right? Whatever the case may be, it is not my place to come in and assert myself as an expert because I overheard some sister saying something. No. So in that same regard, I ask you to respect this space. Now, it is that type of black person who can get along just fine in this system because to them, they want to replicate what they see in this system. They just want to replicate it with them in power. Or at a minimum, if I can't knock white supremacy out the way, at least let me get a seat next to it. Right? It's the people who use the language as if they want to tear down this system. At the end of the day, they just want a seat at the table. At the table of white, not even at the table of American imperialism. Right? You got some black folks who are fine with getting a seat at the table of American imperialism. That'd be bad enough. You're talking about folks who want to get a seat at the table of white supremacy. Y'all saw something. Yep, right here. Somebody already reminded me. It's this exact cat right here. There was a black boy a black man who planned the last Proud Boys rally, got his teeth knocked out because he really overestimated the fact that his blackness being able to blend in with Nazis. Which brings me to a bigger point. I'm gonna get off the specifics of today. And this is where the conversation does become 100% inclusive with everybody. Fascism has the capacity to be diverse. Historically, right, as we know Nazis and fascists, it wasn't diverse. But let me tell you something about white supremacy. White supremacy is a slick fucker. White supremacy has the ability to adapt and to not make decisions purely based on skin color, but to make decisions purely based on who's going to protect the power structure. And then, not only is it slick, but it's smart. It's smart because it realizes, wait a minute, I actually can insulate this white male Christian power structure if I enrich a couple of people of color, like Candace Owens, offer 50 Cent $500,000 to support Donald Trump. Can't get 50 Cent, or you kind of sort of tried the waters with him and he backed off. So let's go ahead and get Lil Wayne, right? White supremacy is smart enough to say, hey, we actually can protect this white male Christian power structure if we put a few good Negroes in front of it. So not only does it adapt and evolve, but it makes calculated, rational decisions for its own self-preservation. And it realizes, white supremacy realizes that if I put a black person out there, then we have plausible deniability. We're not really racist because we're not saying the racist things. Candace Owens is saying the racist things. We're not really racist. We're not really Islamophobic because we're not saying the Islamophobic thing. Dinesh D'Souza is saying the Islamophobic thing. We're not really anti-Semitic because we're not really saying the anti-Semitic thing. We got Ben Shapiro out there as a good front man, and so he gives us plausible deniability. But what are they protecting? They are protecting the white male Christian power structure in this country that benefits, it literally is. That is white supremacy. Literally is. And here we are dealing in 2020. We're dealing with this rebranding. They have extended the branding of white supremacy, the black faces of white supremacy beyond Clarence Thomas, right? Clarence Thomas was the Supreme Court justice who had a dignified approach to just being quiet on the bench while executing on behalf of white supremacy. But they said, no, we got to go a little bit further because that's insufficient. The most toxic and intoxicating at the same time, toxic and intoxicating brand of white supremacy wrapped in blackface is the black radical language, the black revolutionary language, the people who will put up their fist and say that they are black and they're proud, the people who will call other folks coons. Tariq Nasheed got his whole coon train awards, right? So if you get a brother like that because he's sure enough black, and then you slide him some incentives in whatever form it comes and get him to sell the same white supremacy, but wrapped in his particular brand of black radicalism. Oh, because people could easily see through Clarence Thomas, right? Larry Elder, we could see through those, Herman Cain. Yeah, we can't see through his ass now because COVID-19 took him out, but you know what I'm saying. Shit, right? We could see through the people who can't bring, the black folks who can't bring themselves to say I'm black and I'm proud. We brush them off. But it's so much more difficult to see through the people who have built an entire brand talking about how much they love being black, but at the end of the day, they're selling you up the river to white supremacy. That's what we're dealing with now. And that has been the investment that has been made for the last 4 years. That's where Republicans have poured all of their money. I'm gonna take these wristbands off because they're making a lot of noise. That's where they've been pouring money into this. Do you think it is a coincidence that every single week for the last 3 weeks we have had a black rapper come out in support of Donald Trump, presenting themselves as the apex of blackness? Ice Cube, brother, you ain't. Brother, you more Disney than me. Bro, I got no qualms. I'll go do a whole ass video of me cooking in the backyard with my kids jumping on the trampoline, but you more mushy in the middle than me. But you trying to sell what you doing as if you the hardest core black person in the game. Bro, get out of here, man. Miss me with that, man. You ain't. That was 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Last week, who was it? 50 Cent. We couldn't do it with Ice Cube. Now we're going to do it with 50 Cent. They tried to do it with Kanye West, but he was so, whatever he was going through, he decided to run for president himself. He didn't get the message. Kanye West was so gone in the head. He was like, oh, Donald Trump must want me to run for president. And they were like, oh, this nigga. This nigga trying to run for president. We want you to bring us the black vote, Kanye. We didn't want you to run for president. So he went from Kanye to 50 Cent. I'm sorry, to Ice Cube to 50 Cent. 50 Cent got wind. He was like, oh, you mean they ain't gonna listen to my club? I need them royalty checks. I need that ASCAP, the BMI check to keep coming. I need my songs to actually play on the radio so I can get that residual income. So let me back up and say, fuck Trump. Dumbass. That didn't work. So now today, who they try? Little Weezy. Weezy F baby. If and I'm not saying this to be condescending to you, the audience. So actually, let me take it back. I'm not even gonna say it. No one should believe that this is a coincidence. That every single week we have had a black male rapper come out and offer their support in some format to Donald Trump. And again, maybe you're one of these black people who are like, well, Donald Trump's not really a racist. Oh, okay. I was in Noonan, Georgia when the Nazis were marching down the streets in Noonan, Georgia with Make America Great Again hats on and the swastika, right? Charlottesville. I mean, Portland. But maybe you're one of those folks who's like, Donald Trump's not really a racist. Okay. 1 in 1,000 black people have died from COVID-19. And this president wants to try herd immunity, or correction, is actively trying herd immunity. We're getting ready to get close to 2,000 people being on this stream. That means that out of the people just watching me tonight, 2 black people are dead. I personally know, I completely forgot about all the people who died at the church that I used to play at. I was going to say I know 2 people who died from COVID-19. Fact of the matter is I know about 12. Because in the first weeks, it ravaged the church I used to attend in South Florida. 30 members got sick, 10 of them died. Black folks. So even if you have the unbelievably revisionist and intentionally obtuse interpretation of Donald Trump that you think that he's not necessarily a racist, you gotta see as a black person that he is actively engaging in behaviors and policies and politics that's going to get somebody you love killed. But Lil Wayne thinks he's going to be good for you. 50 Cent thinks he's going to be good for you. Ice Cube, who swear he hard, bro. I just don't see it, fam. I just don't see it. I don't see it. And I'm as mushy as they come. But there's nothing about you that strikes me as hard. And the only reason I even go down that alley of laughing at your gangster is because you're trying to wrap white supremacy in your gangster. You trying to wrap you're trying to put a veneer of NWA on top of your support for Donald Trump. So to that extent, I got to call out you bruh. Come on, go ahead and eat your caviar, man. Go ahead and get your, hell, I got pumpkin spice latte in the other room too. We'll share a cup of pumpkin spice latte in the backyard as our kids jump on trampolines. But don't try to sell white supremacy to my community through your gangster. But here we are with all of some of your favorites or former favorites from the black, the old hits that nobody knew, right? They're not getting, Migos ain't coming out here and endorsing Donald Trump. Bet not. You're not getting old heads like Jay-Z coming out here, because at least he got Beyonce. I'm looking at a consistent theme here, like people who have either Kim Kardashian in their life or they don't have a good black woman in their life. I'm seeing a trend here. I don't know who Ice Cube might be married to or who he's not married to, but still, I digress. At the end of the day, we have an intentional program being sold to the black community, paid to wrap white supremacy in the veneer of blackness, black radicalism, and even NWA gangster. All right, I'm done for the night. Let me read your super chats. Let's see. I love it when people do stuff like this. Bob Tuna said, "You lost me here. Bitch, I never knew who you were. So how could I find you?" These are so-called gangster rappers who sold us out for a tax break. For real, man. Really. Don't get me wrong. Like, I get it. I get it. I remember when I was a teacher and I taught at a very underprivileged charter school. The type of charter school that shouldn't have even been in existence, and it should have been a public school with enough funding to actually get us books instead of having, pages out of old books stapled together. Really could have benefited from some tax dollars. But I asked those kids, I said, kids, all black kids, I said, I gave them a basic lesson in taxation and how taxes can be used or should be used. And when I was talked about what they wanted right then where they were, I'm like, if we raise taxes, man, we can get the lights on in the school, right? We can actually get you some decent food. We can get you some school supplies. And everybody's like, yeah, let's raise taxes. And I said, great. All right, I'm with you. Now, in the future, when you're a millionaire, you gonna want to pay them taxes? And all of them like, I don't want to pay the taxes, but I don't want to pay them taxes. And that's what happens. American individualism, like we talked about extensively last night, American individualism and selfishness really pushes us to be willing to sell out everything in order to keep as much money as we can and have as little responsibility to the community as we can. And what it does then is it rewires us now in our present impoverished condition, right? Or in our present middle class condition. It conditions us to reject the idea of raising taxes on the rich because one day we think we're going to be rich. But that was all to that last person's comment that they sold us out for a tax break. Okay, that's it. I don't even think I'm gonna be long tonight because you can look at me. I'm tired. Like, I've done 3 shows today and I couldn't even get to my podcast today. But what I want to do is read the super chats that we've gotten so far. Okay. Let's see. Let me refresh my screen. Miss C. Beasley, you said this a couple days ago and I wanted to talk about it. On YouTube, you said the political climate has been extraordinarily exhausting but necessary, eye-opening. And the main thing I wanted to talk about 2 nights ago when you said that was the fact that the exhausting is necessary, right? Everything that is irritating us right now is necessary because thank you, because now it just came back to me. I went on the longest tangent and actually forgot the main point that I wanted to say. Everything that we're going through right now is necessary because it reveals the fissures and the divisions that have actually always been here. It has been an anomaly of American history to have as many black people voting together in a block as we have been. That's an anomaly because it's not as though we all agree with each other, because we don't. And it's not as though we don't have sexist, misogynist, patriarchal, people who would love to see women's rights roll back to the 18th century in the black community. We got them in the black community too, right? Right. So this block that we've had in the black community for so long, it's really an anomaly because as soon as you take away the fight against racism, we very quickly devolve into similar divisions that you will see in any community. And so the stress of what we're going through right now, it's exhausting, but it's necessary to the extent that, you know what? It's just best for us to realize right now that there never has been such thing called the black vote. And the Democratic Party better learn this real quick because there's been you have been the beneficiaries of 60% of black people coming to the polls every election and getting 90% of that turnout to vote for you. And that's been a critical component of you winning. But the fact of the matter is that's an anomaly because our politics break down once you take away the racism of the Republican Party, or all things being equal, you neutralize that component, which is exactly Exactly what's been happening over the last 4 years has been a concerted effort to neutralize the argument that Republicans are racist and Democrats are not. That's the entire ball game. Because if you neutralize that argument, then the black community breaks down based on the same divisions that you have in every other community. You're going to have a lot of black folks who don't want to pay more in taxes for nobody. They don't care how black you are. They look down on you with the same condescending gaze as a white supremacist, as a rich white supremacist. And so they'll splinter off and they'll go vote based on their tax bracket. Do you have religious black people who believe that abortion should be illegal and same-sex marriage is an abomination, is the worst thing they've ever seen since Adam and Eve ate the apple, right? And so if you control for the racism element of the Republican Party, they don't get rid of it. They just draw false equivalence and say, hey, no, they're all racist. If you control for that, then you're going to pick off all of those black people who are like, well, I was only voting with Democrats because Republicans were so racist. But if you're telling me Donald Trump's not really a racist and Joe Biden is the biggest racist, then, well, I could just go and vote for the Republican Party. What I'm trying to say is that there has been a 4-year campaign doing exactly that with money behind it. Now, I don't think it's enough to help Donald Trump win, but stranger things have happened. But what I do think is happening most assuredly is that beyond 2020, no matter the results of 2020, the Democratic Party cannot count on the black community as a voting bloc. Not unless you literally do something to say, hey, black folks, we understand that we need 60% of you across this country to come out and vote for us. And of that 60% of you who come out to vote, we need 90% of you to vote for the Democratic ticket in order for us to have power. Now, unless Democrats see that and respond accordingly, because if you need that many black people to vote for you to win, and let's be sure, I want to make sure for anybody who's confused in the audience, they need that many black people to vote for them to win. They need that percentage of blackness to, one, vote, and then to vote for the Democrats in order for Democrats to win. If you need us that badly, then you sure as hell better be doing something for that vote. Because the countervailing force that a lot of people have been missing, and we're seeing it come to fruition with week after week. You got a new rapper, new black rapper. You got a new black CEO. You have Bob Johnson, the former CEO of BET, coming out in support of Donald Trump. What you're seeing is the neutralizing, and it's at the most insane. You're seeing the neutralizing of the distinction in the minds of black Americans that Republicans are racist and Democrats, Because now what they have put, Republicans have put money into like nothing you've ever seen. I've been doing this long enough. I have been in the trenches long enough to see every iteration of this. They have poured hundreds of millions of dollars into the exact message that the Democrats are the real racists and Donald Trump's not. Here's the gag. Two things that are hilarious about that argument. Well, one is hilarious, one is depressing. The hilarious part of that argument is the fact that it's coming at a time in which Donald Trump is exuding the height of racism and white supremacy. Like it is the renaissance of white supremacy. Like I don't know if that's the funny one or the depressing one. I'll let you decide. Like we are literally at the height of the renaissance of white supremacy, where they're marching through the streets and laughing at the misery at black suffering. They're just, I mean, it really is. It's depressing, and you got to laugh for not crying, because at the same time you have these black agent provocateurs and you have these black COINTELPRO people who are acting like they're the blackest and they're the wokest. At the same time that they're trying to tell you to vote for Donald Trump, it's at the same time that we're seeing the resurgence and the renaissance of white supremacy like I haven't seen in my lifetime. Yeah, no, that's actually the funny one. That's the funny part. Here's the depressing part. if you are a party, go out and vote, folks. Please go out and encourage 10 people to vote. Before I even finish this sentence, because it is depressing what I'm getting ready to say, make sure that you get 10 people to vote. If you don't do anything else, get 10 people to vote. All right? Because here's the depressing thing. The Democratic coalition has needed. Actually, no, let me restart that. The Democratic coalition can't afford to lose 5%, right, of the black vote. It can't. It can't afford to. Look, I mean, it can't. It's not built that way. It's not. You have needed in the past 90% of the black people who show up to the polls to vote for you in order to win. And when you don't get that, like in 2016, you lose. So while what I'm saying may seem like it's edge cases, the depressing thing is all Donald Trump has to do is to get just 5% of black people who were going to vote to just stay home. Or maybe he doesn't get that 5%. Maybe he gets 3% to stay home, but he's able to suppress the other 2%. They don't have to convince all of us of their strategy, because the majority of us look at the strategy and we're like, that's a bunch of bullshit. Of course Donald Trump is a racist. Of course Republicans have been using the Southern strategy since Richard Nixon, right? It's been a part and parcel of who the Republican Party is. That's quite literally why we left the Republican Party and came to the Democratic Party, because they switched sides. Majority of black folks know that. This is why white folks, you shouldn't run around and have this conversation, because you're going to make an assumption about a black person who already knows this, okay? We know this. The majority of us got it. They don't have to win the majority of us. The Democratic Party has been so dependent on the black vote that they need 60% of all black people in this country, 60% of us, to go out and vote in the first place. And 90% of those people who go out and vote to vote for the Democratic ticket. So you shave off, I don't know, just get turnout down to 59%. I'm not the numbers guy. Mundell will probably correct me in the morning. But if you shave off just a small percentage of your most important block, and then you get everything else that Donald Trump has been doing to suppress the vote, to disenfranchise people, to slow down the post office, right? You got people out here burning drop boxes. Right? You got the Supreme Court trying to ensure that folks can't get their votes counted 3 days, right? At first it was 7 days. They rejected that. And then they're like, 3 days, no, we need to have a new trial based on that, because 3 days after the election is too long. At every level, they're trying to disenfranchise and to suppress the vote. And oh, by the way, they have had an active campaign for the last 5 years in the black community, headed up by people who are ostensibly woke, ostensibly radical, who have large black audiences, and they are delivering a message that I would argue they're probably being paid to deliver, that basically says, why would you worry about Donald Trump being a racist when the Democratic Party hasn't done anything for you for the last 40 years, in the midst of Donald Trump presiding over 1 in 1,000 black people being dead from COVID-19. Do you see the pieces, right? I spent a lot of time laying out the pieces for you so that you could paint the picture for yourself. But the picture that's being woven right now is you need to get 10 people out to the polls, right? Forget everything else that I said. Get 10 people out to the polls, because no matter how hard they have worked, we have to overcome it. It's not something to be depressed about. It's something to be aware of and work around. And thankfully, sorry, I know this is ghetto as hell. I want to just get my thing back on my wrist. Thankfully, there have been organizations like Black Male Voter Project that have been putting hours, countless hours, into getting this done. There have been small grassroots organizations all across the country who have been fighting against that very thing. And while I'm talking about it on a high level, there have been people on the ground who have been organizing around those arguments, right? That's the beautiful thing. It's all hope is not lost by long, right? I just want you to be aware of the hustle. I want you to be aware of what has been going on. And also be aware that there have been people who've been fighting against it the entire time. And those organizations have been doing so good. And the way you can help those organizations is by making sure you not only vote yourself, but get as many people out to vote as you possibly can. All right. Eric Gentlecore said, thanks for being an inspirational progressive. Thank you for that, my friend. Jason Johnson. Probably not that Jason Johnson. Amy Coney Barrett recused herself in the PA Supreme Court voting case. I think that's just a prelude because she wants to cash in her check on the case that's going to actually matter. The one that's coming up after the election. Flossie Carter, thank you for the super chat. Torches and Pitchforks. I tried to search for it. He wants to know if I've seen the Walter Wallace's Son presser. Kids, my hero. Check it out, folks. Please send me a link. Or send it to my producers because I did some Googling for it and I could not find it, which is wild because I'm usually able to find anything. Sean Erdwin said, have you ever seen the show Spitting Image with Trump in it? No, I haven't. Narco Asa said, discover me because of TYT and love all the streams and videos. Been sharing them with my friends, family, and social media. Keep fighting the fight. Thank you so much, Narco. I appreciate that. Timothy Close said, hi, Ben. As I am sure you know, ranked choice voting is now on the ballot in Massachusetts. Can you quickly explain why ranked choice is important? Because it gives you the ability to not be constrained to a two-party system. It gives you the ability to make a vote, and if a certain percentage if it doesn't hit a certain percentage, then your vote is reallocated. There's other people who could speak way better on ranked choice voting, but I would tell you, I lost my signal. I would tell you that it does lift the constraints off of us in terms of wasting our vote. I didn't know it was on the ballot in Massachusetts. Broke Boy Gaming said, Ben, I got cussed out earlier. I wasn't trying to offend. I was just trying to get a point across about ADOS disinformation, and I'm a supporter of the show, and I love your work. All love. Did I cuss you out? Who cussed you out? Stephen Magooch. Mugish? Sorry. Hey, Ben, this is super random, but are those sure SE846 monitors you're wearing? I think so. Thanks for all your coverage, and I really appreciate the work. They are the pretty standard in-ear monitors. I don't know the exact number, but they are sure. They are sures. Chia Bride, subscribe with Prime on Twitch. Thank you for doing that. Sarah, subscribe with Prime. KTA 619, subscribe with Prime. Thank you so much. Jammer and Hanis, you told me how to pronounce it and I'm still messing it up. Subscribe with Prime for 2 months. Thank you so much. And it said, good evening, fam. Much love to you. Hey, comrades. And the beginning of the name is Ja, like Jamaica. Jammer Anis. Got it. No, I don't have it. Andy from Ohio said, you came in comfy tonight. Yes, I did. I told you, I was like, if you leave it to me now, I'll just come out here in a hoodie. And somebody was like, come out here in a hoodie. So I came out here in a hoodie. Jammer Anis said, my son would definitely be running in my room if I had a podcast. Comrade V Taco, should white people about black rappers supporting Trump? I would just tread carefully, right? We got the conversation. We got it on the wrap. You can just retweet us. Like what we say and retweet us. This is probably the safest thing. Andy from Ohio said, I went to drop off my ballot today and they had a coned off system where I didn't even have to get out the car. Someone came to my window with the clip shut opening for me to put my ballot. I wore my Justice Democrat shirt over a sweater shirt. Very cool. Ronald Woolman said on Facebook, Democrat or sociopath? That's the vote. Which are you going to choose? Thank you, Ronald. That's the bottom line. 227,000 people are dead. One study said at least 230,000 of those people didn't have to die. I had been saying it. Like you can go back to episodes. I had been saying it all along. I said maybe we spot him 30,000 deaths because it's a novel virus. Everything over 30,000 didn't they would be alive. Yeah, that's you don't come back from death. Like, I know that's the most obvious thing I've ever said, but you can come back from bankruptcy. You can't come back from death. Durableek said, the reason I rarely want to engage with Republicans and conservatives is because they will never genuinely see my humanity as a black man and demanding what's right, and will always have a rebuttal to try to see, to try to me without race. Yeah, to try to see me without race, or humanity. I feel that. Infinite Content said, non-black folks, your guest here. Your guest here. Enjoy the conversation, the food. Get yourself a plate of Big Mama's cooking to take home, but don't repeat what you heard. Don't repeat what you heard. Don't go out there as an expert, because it's not going to end well. Like, I know my place. I am not going to speak in an internal conflict in the LGBTQ community. It's just not my place. But I don't get my head chopped off. The Big Piece, thank you so much for that contribution. Christy Hardison Wilson said Larry Elders and Jason Whitlocks are right there with them. Yep. Tyrese on Facebook said, I will never listen to Lil Wayne music again, and I love the Carter 3. I love the Carter 3, but yeah, I'm good. A little Tunchi. Look like a broke Fraggle Rock. And got all that money and managed to look like a broke Fraggle Rock. Sarah said, how can we, the people, vote for someone and then have the electoral college depend our collective voice? How can we change this? I call so much BS. There's so many reforms. We're at a pivotal point in American history where it is reform or die. We have to reform the system. We have to reform the electoral college, get rid of the electoral college. We need to put term limits on the Supreme Court, expand the courts. There's some key reforms. Make DC and Puerto Rico, give them statehood. And we should allocate senators seats based on the population, but that might be a bridge too far. The Big Piece said on YouTube, I recently realized that I spent half my life trying not to scare people. In the process, beat myself down more than anyone else ever could. That's the tiring thing, bro. We do that all the time. And I'm a small dude. Like, I mean, I'm big, but I'm on 5'7", and you have to deflate. You have to try to intentionally, as a black man, have to intentionally make yourself smaller in some of these spaces so that they don't inadvertently see you as a threat. What's this? Sweet Girly subscribed on Twitch with Prime. Thank you so much. Andy from Ohio, you've got my words as a white woman. You got my word as a white woman. I won't say anything. Appreciate it. Come correct. Said, well, Jared Kushner was the one who called me back. Shaking my head. Y'all see. Oh, yeah. You talk about. Yeah. Okay, I see what you did there. Talking about Ice Cube. Comrade V Taco said, y'all see the look on Donald Trump's face with Lil Wayne? I know that white grin too well, and it's not kind. Putting drive link for Lil Wayne picture in the producer's chat in case you want it. Okay, thank you. And I'll jump in the chat in a second. Thomas Depko. Do you think the non-evangelist black church can be united with the secular left to form a countervailing force against the reactionary right? That's me, right? But I think when we say evangelist, I think you're saying like the evangelical, it's black liberation theology. Any church that subscribes to and teaches black liberation theology, we're more than happy to have a coalition with the secular left for many reasons. But one of them is because we understand that the future has to be ecumenical. The future has to be one in which secularists, atheists, Satanists, Christians, Buddhists, we all have to coexist, which means that we're going to have to get rid of the people, or we're going to have to out-organize. Let me use my language correctly, right? Because we'll never get rid of them, but we're going to have to out-organize the people who cannot tolerate all of these different diversity of faiths having the same exact access and opportunity to power. Not just opportunity. No. Opportunity for power, access to an opportunity for power, economic and political power, right? They're okay with you having equal opportunity in terms of like the American rat race, but they sure as hell are not interested in you having equal opportunity for power. And the future doesn't happen unless we get that. So to answer your question is yes, that's exactly where I stand. Sharon Middleton sending up some love, saying ADOS, the new abolitionist movement, Tariq Nasheed, Watkins, Boyce Watkins, Ice Cube, Charlamagne the God, KRS-One, and are all on that bull crap. Speak on this. Well, you spoke on this, sister. James Slowmaker, thank you for the super chat. Robert Abrams said, are you psychic? You spoke almost word for word from my conversation with my black co-worker friend, just not as articulate. I can't shake him. He used to be pro-black type. Conservative media did a number on people like him. So, hey, Robert, first of all, thank you for the support. No, I'm not psychic. We're all just human. And what I absolutely love about humanity is like we all fall within like some standard deviation of each other. I'm doing some crazy stuff again. Man, we're all so much the same. I don't have to be psychic. We all have the same dreams. We have the same recurring nightmares. So we're always on the same wavelength. I just have like spent enough time trying to figure this shit out to be able to articulate it. That's all. But no, basically we're on the same page. Come Correct said, I understand that many of our leaders needed to be celebrities, but do we have to go to Lil Wayne, Ice Cube, 50 Cent for political thought? Do we go to the Jonas Brothers or Imagine Dragons for Marxist theory? Good point. Ray Riley said, there used to be a word for black people who worked against and actively sold out the interests of their own people. We don't say that word anymore. I do, but I don't use it in mixed company. No offense. Can't do it in a mixed company. Connection. This is from Randy's Context. Connection. Clarence Thomas, Anita Hill, Joe Biden. Yep, there's a connection there for sure. For sure. I mean, you're not going to find a single episode where I'm out here extolling the virtues of Joe Biden. What I am going to tell you is that Joe Biden is not a fascist and that he's not going to sit by and just actively contribute to the deaths of 1 in 1,000 black people. And because I care about everybody, 227,000 lives. I can count on him at least to not sit back and actively contribute to 500,000 Americans dying. K-Love just sent me the pair. Love it. Appreciate it. Ray Riley said, killing it, Ben. Hashtag Ben Dixon, Dragon Lord, TDR, the Damage Report. I'm going to be hanging out with them for Election Day. Sam Sladley says, Tariq Nasheed said not to vote until reparations. Do you think this goes away? I can't see Tom Cotton doing as well with black people in 2024. That's literally the veneer of wokeness paving the way for white supremacy, because the act of not voting doesn't hurt the Republican Party that is engaging in this renaissance of white supremacy. It helps them. And so while it sounds like it's revolutionary, like, oh, he's so woke, he ain't voting. He's so woke, he ain't voting. It is literally laying out the red carpet for a second term of white supremacy. Active, vigilant, violent, belligerent white supremacy. I mean, I've been to some of these protests. I've been to some of these marches and seen them first face to face. Come Correct. And let me give you a sidebar. There's two types of white supremacists at the Nazi rally that I went to protest and to cover in Noonan, Georgia. It was the loud and proud ones with the Nazi swastikas, the white supremacist symbols, the yelling, the shouting, and everything. That was 99% of them. But there's that 1%, that one guy who saw me covering it and came over to me and tried to have a reasonable conversation and try to find some common ground, and then take that common ground and pivot slowly towards anti-Semitism. And if I continued to take the bait, that anti-Semitism would have taken me slowly but surely over to saying, you guys might have some points here. Thankfully, I've been in this game long enough to smell it when he walked over there to me. But not everyone is going to pick up on that immediately. And then too, some people actually buy into that shit. Some black folks actually buy into it. And so long as you give them the opportunity to still pretend as if they're black and they're proud, they'll gladly engage in all of the white supremacist, anti-Semitic things that you need to get your agenda across. It's the Trojan horse that I talked about. I think it was last night or the night before. The horse that they are presenting to you is black radicalism. What's inside of it is white supremacy. True Dwabi on Twitch. Thank you for subscribing with Prime. Robert Abrams said, "Damn, Ben, you're on target." Thank you, my man. Comrade V Taco said, "Spent the day dunking on conservatives, then The Economist endorsed Biden." Sam Slady said, Tariq said, "No voting until reparations." I already covered that. Robin Scott said, "Check out new reparations program California Governor Gavin Newsom just signed into law." Yeah, we'll talk about that. Jamers and Niece said, "We need to change it. Literally, please get involved if you can." Elise Marie said, "Do you think Biden will actually bother to improve our system so a Trump doesn't happen again?" So here's the thing. Like, here's what I disagree with the framing of that question. No matter how much we improve the system, there's going to always be another Trump vying for an opportunity to seize power. Do I think that Joe Biden is going to actively improve our system? Don't cut off the stream, everybody. I've been honest with you from the beginning. No, I don't think that Joe Biden is going to actively improve anything. With the exception of stopping people from dying from COVID-19, that's a pretty good improvement, right? Not actively engaging and inflaming and supporting and retweeting and pushing and promoting Nazis and white supremacists, that's an improvement, right? It's not an improvement from the baseline of where we left off in 2016. This is what I'm saying. Like, what he's going to fix basically is just take us back to 2016. I don't see him improving above that. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first. Listen, if you've been rocking with me, one thing I do well are apologies. I have no problems taking my words back, sticking my foot in my mouth and making a full-throated apology, because I think it makes me better to be able to admit that I was wrong. So if I'm wrong and Joe Biden actually implements policies that literally put us in a better position in 2021 than we were in 2016, I'll be the first to give him his props. Angel Blue Rodic 48 subscribed to tier 1. Thank you so much. Andy from Ohio says, "So excited that you'll be on the damage report in TYT on Tuesday." Yes, I'm excited to be there. Robert Abrams said, "Last comment. Do you think the only way for reparations to happen is under a Democratic Socialist president?" No. I think that the only way reparations is going to happen is if we stay in the streets, and not just black folks, but white folks, brown folks. We stay in the streets and we put on unbelievable amounts of pressure on the system. And I think if we are able to organize the sufficient amount of, somebody said, who is this? Her name was April. She was on the podcast with us tonight before this. And she said, we got what we got from the courts, as well as the legislator and the executive branch, the legislative branch and the executive branch. We got what we got, not because we voted them in. It was because we put pressure on them. Talking about Brown versus the Board of Education, talking about the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, respectively. Talking about those, we got those not because we voted for a Democrat or because we voted, got the court for Brown versus Board of Education, from what she said tonight, was arguably more conservative than the court that we have right now. But we got what we got because we put hella pressure on them. So that the answer is for us to never stop protesting. Infinite Content said, "Understand this. We give the Dems 6 months on the federal level, but still go to these state and local races. No help for us. Primary them all." Comrade V Taco gifted a tier 1 sub to Andy from Ohio. Thank you so much for gifting that. and 5 emotes were shared by Comrade V Taco. Folks, it's a shorter one than normal. We normally go 2 hours, but I am burned out. My eyes are tired. Oh, we got a lot of trolls on Facebook. Okay, well, sorry about that, Facebook. I wasn't tuned in, and we missed them, but we'll get them. If y'all just mark them, tag me on them, tag me on the comments that are full of trolls, and we'll go clean house. Where are we going tonight, everybody? Where are we going? I like Dennis Hodges says, we take a mummified pigeon over Trump at this point. That's love. Where are we going, Twitch? Who are we rating tonight, Twitch? And while you guys do that, let me find my phone and get into the producer's chat real quick. My eyes are burning. Lots of trolls. Okay, I'm gonna jump over there. Dusty said on YouTube they're raiding the bed. I'm totally cool. Like, I don't know if they even notice. I don't know if Hassan or TYT would notice, but if you guys want to raid them, then the majority rule. Yep. Nikki said, Ben, but the problem is now that the Republicans now are so much more horrendous and soulless than in the past. I don't think there's any chance at passing anything useful until we vote the feckless Democrats and swap them for Justice Dems who will fight for what's right, which was, I'm sorry, I jumped down to the second part. But I don't you're going to find me arguing with you. I agree. I'm talking, but let me get to this chat. Sorry, fellas. Sorry, producers. I wasn't here. Oh, the picture for Lil. Yeah, well, okay. We got it. All right, so just let me know when we've done the... I see a couple votes for Hassan. I mean, we raid every night, so we're gonna hit everybody. Nick is working a 24-hour shift. Oh, I'm so sorry. Get some rest. Tam I am says, I don't think Ben sleeps at all. I don't sleep well. Jamal, thank you. I appreciate you guys. I am. I'm going to go get some rest. I'm going to try my best to get some. I see a lot of votes for Hassan. Here, I'm going to, let me see if I can hit him up and tell him we're coming. At least he'll, well, let me make sure that's where we're going first. I'm working on it. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to work on getting some good night's rest. Whew. Just gonna make sure I don't want to cut the stream off until we're out of here. Hassan, great. We're going to Hassan. Just let me know. When it's done. My eyes. Y'all see how bloodshot my eyes are? It's time to go to bed. Kentucky, get it done. Born Beauty Star says, vote Mitch out. Oh, Ben Watson wants Trump 2020. You're in the wrong place, my friend. Go find your... Yeah, I'm noticing that. I think I've been patient long enough, right? I've been kind long enough. I haven't attacked. Thank you. Is Chelsea Manning on Twitch and streaming? That's love. I'd love to show support. Tim, oh, okay, yay. Okay, so let's do this because this is a good idea. Listen, everybody on YouTube, hang on, let me get Tim Black's because I think he might be streaming live right now. So Twitch is going to go over and support Hassan. And what you can do on YouTube, if you're kicking it with me, we got 819 people kicking it with me on YouTube. Can we get at least half of you to go over and raid Tim Black? Is he live? I don't think he's not live right now. I thought he was going to be live. No, he is live. Yeah. Okay, it just started. Okay, here's a link. I'm about to post a link in the YouTube chat for us. Okay, they're not starting. They haven't started yet, but I want you guys to go over there and send him some love. I'm about to post a link in the YouTube chat for us. No, I'm talking about okay. Okay. Okay, then I'm gonna mind my business then. Okay, I'm gonna mind my business. You guys go where you want to go. I see everybody saying no. Okay, so I'm gonna mind my business. Y'all go where y'all want to go. David, just let me know when you've done the raid. When the raid is complete, done. Okay, folks, I'm going to rest my eyes. I'll see you in the morning at 8 a.m. for clickbaity political thirst trap. Cause I'm the hardest working man. I need to get paid like what's that man name? The from Tom Joyner. I'm the hardest working man on the internet. All right, see you later. Good night.